Could Emilio Barzini be the most formidable enemy the Corleone family has ever faced? After all, he was the mastermind behind the pivotal events of the first film, including the attempt on Vito's life, Sonny's assassination, Apollonia's death, Mo Green's defiance, and Tessio's betrayal. Who was Don Emilio Barzini, and why did he harbor such intense animosity towards the Corleone family? What did he stand to gain from their downfall? In this video, you'll delve into the intricacies of New York's power dynamics and uncover why Barzini posed such a significant threat. Before we dive in, let's clarify an essential point. Across the internet, there circulates an alternative narrative concerning the origins of Barzini, suggesting a connection to one Giuseppe Mariposa. This unofficial story draws from an alternative book by Ed Falco, not the original creations of Mario Puzo and Francis Ford Coppola. At the Familia Corleone channel, prioritize respect for our audience by strictly adhering to the original narratives presented in both the film and the book, steering clear of supplementary tales by other writers that might muddle the essence of the original trilogy for its fans. While these alternative stories might hold their intrigue, they fall outside our channel's focus. With this context in mind, let's proceed with today's episode. The first appearance of Emilio Barzini in Mario Puzo's original book only occurs at the meeting of the five families, convened by Vito. In the film, however, he is introduced much earlier as a guest at Connie Corleone's wedding. From the beginning, his power is evident when he has one of his henchmen take a camera from a photographer's hands to eliminate any trace of his presence. The Barzini family was one of the most powerful criminal organizations in New York, second only to the Corleone family. It controlled a portion of gambling in Brooklyn and Queens, as well as a share of the city's prostitution, along with the Tattaglia family. Barzini was a man of great personal magnetism, coldly unlike Don Corleone's known cordiality. He was one of the few savvy enough to have corporate stakes in Las Vegas and Reno, the cities being developed in Nevada. He was very much like Vito, but more modern, more sophisticated, more business-oriented. Barzini aimed to surpass Don Corleone as the most powerful and respected mafia boss in the country, while also seeking to take over a part of his vast empire. However, he knew he would first need to weaken the rival family to achieve this goal. To remove Vito from power and lead the underworld, Barzini crafted a plan to incite war between the other families and the Corleones. Knowing Vito's stance against narcotics, Emilio secretly supported the Tattaglias to introduce Virgil Sollozzo to New York for a significant drug operation. Barzini was fully aware that this initiative's success hinged on the Corleone family's political shield and foresaw significant strife if Vito declined to cooperate. Vito's rejection made it predictable that Sollozzo would try to kill him without implicating Barzini. This would shift leadership to Sonny, who would then be forced to seek peace to prevent an all-out war among the families.
If your father dies, you make the deal, Sonny.
The plan almost faltered when the attempt on Vito's life failed. However, Michael's murder of Sollozzo and McCluskey gave Barzini leverage to persuade the other families to attack the Corleones for attracting police scrutiny and harming everyone's operations. This provided Barzini the opportunity to weaken his chief adversary and increase his dominance. Sonny proved to be more challenging to control than initially anticipated. Ruthless and uncontrollable, Santino led the family through a violent and fierce war, significantly damaging the businesses of all the families. Removing Sonny from power became increasingly urgent as Vito was recovering. Luck smiled on Barzini once again when he learned about a public beating Sonny had administered to his brother-in-law, Carlo. This provided an opportunity for Barzini to infiltrate the rival family. Barzini approached Carlo and persuaded him to seek revenge against Sonny, luring him into an ambush at a toll booth. This action further weakened the Corleone family, depriving them of another key figure. At the same time, Barzini learned that Michael was hiding in Sicily under the protection of Don Tomasino. It wasn't difficult to persuade the disgruntled and ambitious bodyguard Fabrizio to plant a bomb in Michael's car in an attempt to assassinate him, significantly weakening the Corleone family's power. However, fate intervened, and Michael survived the ambush because his Sicilian wife was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Believing that Michael had perished in the explosion, Barzini began to view himself as the most powerful mobster in New York. Upon hearing of Santino's death, Vito Corleone emerges from his retirement to reclaim control of the family's affairs, with the aim of protecting his family. He devises a plan to ensure Michael's safe return from Italy and to bring an end to the five families' war. Vito arranges a meeting with all the bosses from New York and other cities, stating that he will not seek revenge for Santino's death as long as Michael returns unharmed. During this meeting, Philip Tattaglia expresses doubt about Vito's pledge and seeks confirmation from Barzini that the Corleones will indeed refrain from retaliation once they recover. And in that exchange of glances between the two, and in Tattaglia's vulnerability, Vito immediately realizes that it was Barzini who had been supporting the Tattaglias all along, both in Sollozzo's attack and in Santino's death. With Santino gone and Vito too frail to assume full control, the Corleone family teetered on the brink of collapse. Vito appointed Michael as the family's leader, despite disapproval from his Kappa regimes, as Michael had always kept his distance from mafia affairs and was, theoretically, entirely inexperienced. Seeing his archenemy weakened, Barzini seized an opportunity to expand his influence over Las Vegas operations. He began wooing Mo Green, an associate of Vito Corleone and crucial to the family's success in Nevada. Barzini proposed a lucrative deal to Mo Green with the intention of undermining the Corleone's influence in the area.
I talked to Barzini. I can make a deal with him and still keep my hotel.
Nobody really knew much about Michael, and to Barzini, he was merely a boy without direction. For Barzini, Michael was a minor distraction, easily removed when the time was right. Keen to verify this, he tested the new Don Vito had appointed. Barzini took over territories under Corleone control without facing any backlash. He observed Michael's responses to various challenges and concluded that Michael was truly lost and lacked leadership skills. The Corleones' decline and power loss were evident as they couldn't defend their territories. Barzini was on the verge of striking the final blow to the Corleone family.
Barzini's people chisel my territory and we do nothing about it. Pretty soon there won't be one place in Brooklyn I can hang my hat.
Given Michael's seemingly weak leadership, Barzini knew that all he had to do was wait for one of the Cap regimes to abandon ship. And the first to seek him out was none other than the smartest among them, Tessio. The scenario was perfectly aligned for Barzini to seize the Corleone family. Eliminating the last Don was all that was needed to dismantle the family entirely. Vito's death signaled the peak of his plan, indicating the end was near. The primary obstacle in his path was being buried that day, leaving only the supposedly inexperienced and spoiled son of the former Don. For Barzini, the plan had finally succeeded. Vito had lost power. Sonny had been eliminated, and the territories of New York and Las Vegas were falling into his domain. He was even receiving congratulations for becoming the most powerful boss in the city. To deliver the final blow that would crush the Corleone family, all that was needed was to get rid of Michael. He then used Tessio to assist in this outcome, luring Michael into an ambush. However, in the end, this plan didn't quite work out as intended for Barzini. He made 3 critical mistakes leading to his downfall: overconfidence, arrogance, and underestimating Don Vito. His ego proved to be his downfall. In the next episode, you will see how all of this was part of a perfect plan devised by Vito Corleone to pass the power to his son Michael, reinstating the family as the most powerful in the United States. Follow us so you don't miss the other episodes about this incredible saga of the Corleone family.